While fighting with the dragon, Gaius complains over his first Crest's inability to learn more magic, and uses reincarnation magic to be born again with a different Crest, and named Mathias. And with that, another overpowered isekai hero was born. On his way to the capital, Mathias sensed the presence of a calamity-ranked monster, and defeated it effortlessly, much to the amazement of his driver. In the capital, Mathias surprised everyone by offering to enchant Alma's broken sword, despite having a quote-unquote weak Crest. To their astonishment, he accomplished it chantless, and gave it to Lori, who accidentally sliced the table they were sitting at in half with ease, leaving Alma, Lori, and the sword merchant wide-eyed. Mathias easily defeated Guile, the knight captain of Kingdom Ice, during the exam with his magical enchantments. In the target practice, Lori hit all targets with her first Crest, while Mathias cast a fireball spell that left a giant hole in the center of the exam site. Headmaster Edward was impressed and requested Mathias's help in teaching chantless spellcasting for the upcoming inter-school competition to help revive chantless spells in the academy. Mathias demonstrated his chantless spellcasting skills with another teacher, and helped Alma learn chantless spellcasting as well. He even transferred some of his mana to Luri, allowing her to destroy a target chantless. At the inter-school competition, Mathias faced off against Develis, a demon disguised as a human with a first Crest. Mathias defeated Develis' cohorts with a single spell, and provoked Develis to use chantless spells, deducing that the demons wanted to weaken human spells. He dispelled Develis' human disguise with a spell breaker and defeated the demon before it could escape. As the students and some faculty gather around Develis' dead body, Luri hugs Mathias for defeating the demon in disguise. They both get shy after Alma teases him. Later at the royal castle, Mathias and Edward meet with the king. The king considers granting Mathias a fief, but decides against it due to the recent demon infiltrations that would cause panic among the people. Instead, Mathias requests the king to allow him the rights to all the possessions of the dungeon. The king grants his request and asks Mathias about his opinion on the 4 magical chosen ones. The king believes that since the chosen ones appeared, demons have infiltrated their kingdom and ranks. However, in his mind, Mathias reveals that he brought demons to the brink of extinction 1,000 years ago, but the remaining demons infiltrated and weakened humans in magical knowledge, making them more vulnerable over time. He warns that if demons no longer feel the need to disguise themselves, they may attack the kingdom. Mathias proposes a barrier around the kingdom, which requires a divine class artifact and the help of all the second-year students. Mathias finds old artifacts in the castle's treasure room, including a magical sword and a pendant that increases experience points. It's like finding the ultimate loot drop from a boss battle. He teaches Lori and Alma new skills in enchanted archery and metalworking. The trio explores the dungeon, practicing their new skills and battling monsters. Mathias faces a boss monster and emerges victorious. Upon returning to camp, Mathias shows the corpse to Lori and Alma, who are shocked. Mathias, Lori, and Alma visit the local adventurers guild to sell the loot they found during their time in the dungeon. They end up earning a fat 750 gold, which they then split equally, despite the guild's lack of funds. As they walk back to the academy, they sense the presence of 2 powerful demons, Ashril and Deshril, planning an attack on the Royal Academy. Mathias takes on Ashril alone, while Lori and Alma face off against the Deshril. The battle draws the attention from onlookers, so Mathias uses a levitation spell to flee the scene with the girls. The next day, they meet the king, who rewards Mathias. Mathias requests more dungeons, and the king honors his request. Luri and Alma opt for money as their reward. Truly, you can never have enough money. But things take an unexpected turn when Mathias calls out a demon spy, and reveals it to be Elhart, the former captain of the Magic Order. Mathias gauges the coordinates of the spell and plans to visit the ruined village. Together with his party, Mathias sets out to the desolate location where they find a giant black dragon, Iris, an old acquaintance of Mathias from his old life. Mathias tells Iris to keep his previous life a secret, which Iris agrees to. After repairing Iris's wings, they ride on her back to reach their destination safely. Mathias then takes out the demon stationed at the watchtower and identifies Elhart and another challenging foe. Alma senses a spot with scarce magical power, and Mathias reveals the demon's presence. He crushes Magistones to create a magical calamity and instructs Luri and Alma to ride on Iris. The demon cuts off Mathias's left arm, but he reattaches it and reveals that the substance used on him earlier causes the afflicted body to consume too much magic power and explode. The demon then explodes, leaving behind a giant Magistone. Mathias deduced that the demon's objective was to create a horde of monsters, with the target area being the capital. The group heads back to the capital on Iris's back, and Mathias suggests Iris join the academy on the condition that she passes an entrance exam. During the exam, Iris struggles on the written portion but excels in the sword battle section and destroys the entire magical target ground in the casting section. Despite this, she passes the exam. Mathias received an update on the dungeon excavation process from the Second Royal Academy students. Edward, one of the supervisors, informed him that the most efficient crest for the task is the Crest of Glory, which only First Royal Academy students possessed. Mathias asked Edward if it was possible to seek help from the First Royal Academy for the kingdom's sake. Although Edward knew the strained relationship between the two academies, he agreed to help. Focus, the head of the First Royal Academy, berated Edward for summoning him, claiming that the Second Royal Academy was inferior. Mathias proposed a competition between the two academies, but Focus agreed on the condition that Mathias and his party wouldn't participate. The battle ends with the chantless magic used by the Second Academy students. The king eventually orders to arrest Focus for not obeying his order. Mathias and his companions then explore the dungeon to obtain a Magistone by summoning a monster. Iris, Alma, and Lori fight the summoned dragon while Mathias sets up casting circles to capture its breath spell, although Iris initially struggles to control her strength. She falls down the same hole 2 times. She eventually proves herself by saving her comrades and capturing the spell. Mathias then invites Iris to join the party and trains her in the ruined training ground. Lori creates weapons and armor for the group, including a special sword for Mathias. Mathias gives a formal speech to the students at the Second Royal Academy, informing them that they must protect the capital against the invading monsters and demons. While some students help Mathias clear out the dungeon for resources, Alma and Lori report that demons have been detected. The group prepares for their arrival, imbuing special metal arrows with magic to fight against the demons. After successfully defeating a demon, they sense a surge of energy from the capital, but Mathias assures them that everything is fine. Later, Iris drops off 40 boxes of mithril for Mathias, and Edward informs Lori and Alma that Mathias left an abundance of Magistones for casting circles. As they prepare for the arrival of more demons, a single demon appears and attacks, but is ultimately defeated. Another demon appears and casts a potent spell, leaving the group vulnerable. However, Mathias arrives and easily defeats all of the demons. Mathias inserts a Magistone into the barrier crystal, casting a barrier around the city. However, he warns that defeating the demons will empower the dragon vein, causing a large horde of monsters to appear. The group successfully defeats the monsters, including a Void Eater that they allowed to evolve through a special casting circle. After their victory, Mathias plans to leave the academy to search for more dragon veins, but Edward proposes that he should stay connected with the academy on a special scholarship. The offer is extended to Lori, Alma, and Iris, and they all accept. Of course, our harem could never be disbanded. As they prepare for their journey, they are seen off by Edward and their peers. Mathias and his party venture towards the Melia dungeon, a city dungeon that surprises Mathias as he had never heard of such a place in his past life. Despite Lori's warning that it would take a day to reach their destination, they arrive the same night. The group takes a break in the forest of Chikadasuba to have lunch, and Mathias hunts a white ape monster called Wisdom Monkey and a giant boar for their meal, which scares Lori because of its smart intellect. However, Alma's soup-making experiment goes wrong and they end up eating roasted boar instead. They arrive in Melia, a seedy-looking city, where they're warned about the exploding magic lampposts. They discover that the new lord has forbidden the use of Magistones to power the magic lamps, and that a powerful monster on the 10th floor dungeon has caused the town's low population. To investigate the dungeon, they need the Lord's approval, which Mathias insists on obtaining, even though the receptionist says it's impossible. They then volunteer to help the injured adventurers at the local church, where they learn that the previous Lord was replaced by an incompetent one, who fired most of the healers. Mathias' healing abilities impress the head healer, who reveals that the current Lord could be a demon. With their newly granted permits, they enter the dungeon, subjugate the 10th floor monster, and report their success to the receptionist. At a restaurant, they notice someone watching them, and they're followed back to the inn. Mathias plans to unmask the culprit Lord, who's growing interested in their group. Mathias and his group are being followed by Lord Melchia's henchmen, but Mathias warns the girls telepathically, and they take a detour through a side street. The henchmen search for them until they appear before them asking for directions. One of the men captures Mathias and threatens to kill him if they don't do what he says. Iris then defeats the man without her weapons. Mathias casts a tracking and demon sensing spell onto the man. Later they meet with Elk, the king's messenger, who informs them of the king's response to Mathias' report about Lord Dokiel and Melchia's exploration of the mines. Mathias is given permission to arrest Melchia himself, and they head to the manor where the Lord resided. They find the Lord in a hidden basement, and Melchia summons a swarm of men to attack Mathias, who handily defeats them all with a fire spell. I mean, we are talking about an overpowered isekai protagonist. Doesn't matter how many men you throw at him. Eek reads Melchia his rights and informs him that he is under arrest. Mathias reveals to Eek a burned piece of paper pertaining to the investigation, which he thinks was created by a demon. The demons are pursuing the dragon vein. He informs the group, and they have already started to infuse their magic into the vein. When Mathias enters the dungeon, he confronts the demon boss and listens to its communication line to learn that they are aware of his plans. The fight goes on as the demon launches long-range attacks against Mathias, while he communicates with Lori for assistance. Mathias and his group plan to track down the head demon, who instructed the demon they fought before by using a Magistone to locate the demon's magical signature. They head to the Second Royal Academy, where they inform Edward about their mission and ask for help from the king to cross the border into the Redina Alliance. After helping with the Academy's construction, they receive their permit and voucher to enter the restricted area. However, they need to level up their rank to A to gain access, so they take the rank A Ascension test at the guild in Redina Alliance. Mathias duels with an S-ranked guild member named Giluas, defeating him and giving him a textbook on spellcasting. The group then sets off for the Atellus Plains in the Folkia region, where they encounter an ambush. Mathias uses an illusion spell to create copies of Lori and Alma, where Iris and him face off against the ambushers. Lori and Alma set up and activate the sleeping agent, but they also get caught in its effect. They certainly needed some sleep. Because Alma and Lori had fallen asleep after using that sleeping agent trap to ward off their attackers, when Mathias woke them up, Iris had drawn on Alma's face, which angered her. Upon reaching their destination, Lori sensed about 30 demonic presences in the city, but the feeling was faint due to a concealment spell. Lori's demon radar is on point. Mathias explained that the demons were demi-demons who worked in groups. The group found a secret entryway leading to an underground tunnelway and encountered a demi-demon there. Mathias used magic to blind its senses, allowing them to pass by undetected. Mathias then reveals that the town is under a spell of thought paralysis, which is similar to stupefaction. They infiltrated a factory where a demon disguised as a human checked for a stupefaction spell. Mathias cast an anti-thought paralysis spell, and they pretended to be under its influence. Inside the factory, they discovered that the demons were refining wrong kind magical ore to make explosives, which could destroy an entire kingdom. They're basically making magic nukes. The group decided to eliminate the demons controlling the city to save the people. They used the map of the demons' locations and lured them with a pillar of light. They used Magistones as a makeshift bomb to spread misinformation among the demi-demons, leading them to believe that there were traps all over the city. After eliminating several demi-demons, the head demi-demon planned to blow up the city with Magistones, but Giluas appeared and defeated them. Mathias and Iris helped eliminate the remaining demi-demons, while Gileas fought the head demi-demon. Gileas emerged victorious, but the head demi-demon was not actually defeated. Suddenly, the head demi-demon reawakens and attacks Lori and Alma. Mathias selfishly protects them, and the demon speaks through its host to reveal that the mastermind demon is planning to break its seal and revive soon. The defeated demon disintegrates, and Mathias deduces that the mastermind demon created the demon city. Gileas calls for help, and Mathias heals him. With the demons defeated, the town residents are freed from their thought paralysis spell. Gileas appoints the factory foreman as the provisional lord of the city and grants Mathias a permit to enter Folkia's restricted area. Mathias uses his power to activate the ruin's core, and Lori and Alma search for the weapons and food. Mathias discovers that Lori created a sword in his previous life, and Alma finds a magical spear, but Mathias advises against using it. They use the ruin's core to track the mastermind demon's location and learn its plan to wipe out humanity. They realize they can't defeat the demon in their current state and need a magical sword from the Kingdom of Ice. Mathias confronts Zardius, but he's no match for him. Lori and Alma reach the kingdom's treasury, and the king grants them permission to enter. Lori and Alma have successfully retrieved the sword from the treasury that Mathias needed to face off against Zardius, the powerful chaos demon. However, their victory is short-lived as Zardius reveals that he already has subordinates inside the city's barrier, and both Ashril and Deshril are shown to have been revived by him. Mathias struggles to fight against Zardius while protecting the city, but he's taunted by the demons to fully concentrate on facing him instead. Meanwhile, Lori and Alma face off against Ashril, but are saved by Edward and a group of students who intervene in the scene. The girls manage to deliver the sword to Mathias, but Zardius fatally stabs him in the back. However, the sword's special ability revives Mathias and infuses him with an immense amount of magical power. With this new power, Mathias defeats Zardius, who warns him of another chaos demon out there. After the battle, Mathias and his companions offer to rebuild the damaged parts of the city. They're later rewarded by the king with a sword from the treasury. However, they learn that a bow made of adamantine, which Mathias was searching for, was melted down and got mixed with other metals. Despite this setback, Mathias purchases the metal along with the other rare materials as a way to abstract them in the blocks. He also gifts Iris and Lori with gems. Their peaceful visit to the city is interrupted by an emergency. Guile briefs them about a wooden puppet from the neighboring country of Sihil, which is powered by human energy and most likely created by demons. With the brief that Sihil is under demon control, Guile asks Mathias to travel there and deal with the problem. Before they leave, Mathias gifts Lori with a pendant he created just for her. On their way to Sihil, Mathias reflects on Zardius' warning about the other chaos demon out there, but he remains determined to face any challenges ahead. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.